Hello, this is Michelle Pethley from Shellys Wreaths and More, and today I'm going to prepare and design this poinsettia wreath that is available in my Etsy shop under kits. And this kit will come with everything you need to make a beautiful poinsettia flower, start to finish. The only thing you'll need to add is a pair of wire clippers to cut the ends of these zip ties. The kit will come with the board. It will come with a pack of zip ties. It will come with all the mesh you need. We're using red and green petals today. And it will also come with the center we're going to make, and we're going to make the center out of 6 of these ornaments grouped together, and all of this will come in the kit. Now the kit also will include some fine snow. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. It will come with a brush, sponge brush, and not this big, but a little jar of Mod Podge. And what we're going to do with that, I'll show you in a minute. And let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare the centerpiece, the balls for the centerpiece. All right, your kit will also come with this parchment paper, makes it easier to clean up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, again, we'll have 6 of these, and I've already done 5 of them to save us time. But I'll show you what you're going to do to each of the 6 ornaments that come in your kit. All right, now all you need to do is open, you'll have a little jar of this Mod Podge. I'm sorry, I don't have one available right now. You're going to hold this ornament. See the wire? I'm not sure if you can see it very well. It's a green wire, all right? And then it has this little loop. Now don't cut this loop off, we need it to attach, but we're going to hold it that way, all right? So that you can easily just take and with your Mod Podge sponge brush, just paint on Mod Podge. Doesn't have to be very thick, but you definitely want it to cover all of the silver. All right, just take your time, make sure you cover it. Now up here where my fingers are, it's not very important to get that covered because that'll be pinned against the board in the center of the flower. You still want to get up close to the top, but don't stress out if you don't get it all the way up there. All right, and just paint the whole ball with a nice coat, just like that. Okay, you see the ball is now kind of just white. We're going to take our snow now over the parchment paper and pour it over and cover all of the ball. Just like that. Now I just hit the top of my hand to get off anything loose. And now you have, I'm not sure if you can pick up, but it is a frosted ball where all of the fake snow has now attached itself to the ornament. Okay? The reason we did this first is we want them to dry. So now I'm just going to take off camera and hang it off my desk just so it just dries while we do the rest of the flower. All right, so with this parchment paper, all you need to do is gather it up and pour the snow back into the container. And there you go. Now, again, you would do this on all 6 of the ornament balls. All right, and I've done the first 5 earlier just to save us a little time. Okay, now the next part of this wreath kit, we need to load our board. Now this is a Unique in the Creek board. Unique in a Creek is a company out of Canada that has designed and created many flower boards. This is a plastic board. It will not rust. It will weather beautifully in any kind of weather, and truly makes your designs so easy to put together. Now, I have preloaded this board already with the zip ties, but I'm going to show you the last zip tie here and explain how to use the zip tie as well as the placement on the board. So let's just real quick put in this last zip tie. Now, this zip tie here, a zip tie has a right and a wrong side, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but on it there's a smooth side, and then the other side has the little nub, shall we say, or the part that bunches out. We always want the smooth side pointing up when you load your board. And we're going to load it by putting the end through, again with the smooth side pointing up, and bring it through the second hole, all right? And then you're going to just close it up a little bit, and you'll know you have it on right when you hear this sound. Hear that? It's a little zip. All right, let's hear it again. And all I'm doing is closing up the zip ties just a little, kind of getting them started so that when you bring your petal in with two hands, you don't have to struggle too much. All right, so now I've closed up all four of the center ones. All right, now let me turn over the board and show you how we started. All right, each one of these rings is numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a small wreath board, and it has 4 rings on it. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the first row, we're going to load the 2 holes that are close to each other, but we're going to only load 8 sets of them. There's 16 all around. We only want 8 of them. And the way we've chosen the 8 that we're going to load on the outside, we want to load the 2, this one right here, that is directly across from a single hole on ring number 2. So on ring number 1, we're looking for the set of 2 holes that are close together, that is directly in front of the single hole on ring number 2. All right, so there are 8 of those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, that's how we started. Now the second row, we're going to load all of the paired holes, the closely paired holes. Again, there's 8 of them. This single hole in between is used on different designs, but not in our design today. So we're going to put 8 zip ties in ring number 2 in the set of holes that are close together. Okay. On the third ring, we're going to put in zip ties in all of the holes. There's 8 of them on that ring. But on this ring, ring number 3, they don't have that single hole in between them. So we're going to load 8 on this one. And then on the fourth ring, we're going to load, now this is an odd one for right now, we're going to first load not the shared holes, not the holes that are close together, but the 4 that are further apart. And it's instrumental in the design. We're actually going to end up loading the other set of holes, 4 sets of holes, that are close together, but we're going to load them later when we get close to the finishing up this design. Okay, and then once they're all loaded, you're going to zip them just enough so that you don't have to struggle when you're ready to put your leaves and petals in. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, if you loaded incorrectly, if you put the zip tie in wrong, I'm going to show you that this will be the wrong way. It won't make that sound when it zips. Okay? Well, this one isn't even going in, which is good. We don't want it to go in, but some zip ties will actually load up, but they don't make the zipping sound, and you can pull it right apart. If they're loaded properly, like this and zipped, you cannot pull it, you cannot open it, you can only tighten it, all right? Okay, so let's start with our petal design. We're going to make the leaves, 8 leaves, out of this green poly burlap, all right? It's called eucalyptus, that's the color that comes with. Again, these will be already cut for you. They are cut in 10 by 10 squares. Poly burlap comes in 10-inch widths. And then what we do is we burn these with a hot knife or a wood burning tool so that it helps stop the fraying. Let's put it that way. Every mesh is going to fray, but by burning the edges with a wood burning tool, it will help as best you can minimize the fray. All right? So you can see that this has a bend upward, okay? And that's because of the way it comes off the roll of mesh. All right? So we're going to start with the poly burlap curled side up. And then if you notice, another piece is that this edge here is a factory finished edge. Okay, there's one on each side, and this is the burnt edge right here. What I do is I put the same petal to keep your petals uniform. I'm going to put the factory edge on my upper left, which is my watch hand, upper left, and the other one will be down on the lower right. All right? This way, if you start each petal the same way, your petals will be uniform and all the edges will line up properly. All right? So we're going to bend the top up to the bottom. All right? We're going to pair up the top. I'm going to use a clip to keep the points tight. Then just push down the edges. All right? And then we're going to stretch the middle. Turn it sideways with your hand. We're going to stretch the middle a little bit and then pinch together about 1 inch. All right? Now from there, you can let go of your left hand. We're going to just gather 2 more gathers. 1, 2, bring them to that center. You can do the same thing with this. Bring this to the center in 2, okay? Then you'll just have these 2 little ends. And that is your your petal. Now, I just turn it over, fluff out the wreath, the bottom of the petal a little bit, okay? Take this board while I'm still holding this. I'm going to put it on the outside, ring number 1. We're going to stick it through about the width of my finger. See how the green is coming through the zip tie about a width of my finger. Then just pull your zip tie tight. Kind of wiggle it back and forth. Pull it as tight as you can. Again, pull out the leaf, and there you have it. Okay, once we have that leaf in there, I'm actually thinking that it would probably look better if we pulled it upright, so that you kind of get this curved look. Okay, so let's do that. Instead of turning it under, let's turn it upright. So here we go again. We're going to do the next leaf, factory edge on the left as well as the bottom right. We're going to bring the 2 together and clip the end. Now the reason we're clipping the end is just to keep the points lined up on your petal. Okay, now push down those edges, turn it sideways, give yourself a pull towards the middle, and then take a good inch, pinch it up. All right, now let's gather 2 times on each side. 1, 2, 1, 2. And all I'm doing is just sliding the mesh along the edge of my table until it gathers up. All right? Now, we're going to turn it over again. Bring our board in. Okay. Put it about 1 inch down. Pull the zip tie tight. Okay. You can take off your clip at that time. And now we're just going to cup up that leaf. Okay. So let's do that with the other 6 leaves on this. We'll do it again. Factory edge on both the left, upper left, and lower right. Bring the 2 points together in the middle and clip it. Push down. Now I turn it sideways, and with my dominant hand, which is right, I'm going to pull it a little bit in the center and pinch for about 1 inch. Now make 2 more pinches, gathering it up. And this will, if you keep and make each one of these the same with 2 pinches on each side of the middle, your petals are going to look very uniform, and they're going to lay beautifully in your flower. All right, now we're going to put that one in again. All right, zip it up. Okay, remove the clip, and then pull gently, push down, and create a bowl out of the petals. Do you see how they're a bowl? Okay. So I'm going to continue on with the remaining 5, and I'll come back to you as soon as I'm done. Okay, I'm back. I've got all 8 of my leaf petals in, and now we're just going to take our wire cutters. We're just going to clip off the stems of the zip ties. Okay? Now the next row, alrighty. If you get into these flower making thing, each of these petals will have a name. For instance, this particular petal is called the Dean Michael petal. So if you're ever interested in looking at other floral designs, and you look on YouTube for the Dean Michael petal, they will show you exactly how to do this petal on YouTube. Okay, so our next row, row 2, is we're going to start with the red, and we're going to do the exact same petal method. We're going to do 8 of those Dean Michael petals. All right, so you can see that this board is getting pretty big. All right, so we're just going to move it aside. Hopefully not knock over anything else or knock my clips off, which I just did. All right, we're going to start with the red again. Now the red, again, is same fold, and it's the same mesh, poly burlap. All right, and we're going to put the factory edge on the top left and lower right, fold side up. So it's the exact same petal. Now we're going to meet the 2 together like we did before, and we're going to clip them. Now in this case, after we get it pressed down, we're going to just flip it over, okay? And you can do this with the green one, as the green petals as well. But this is going to help our petals stay together when it comes, when we make a bowl out of them or a cup out of them, okay? But it's the same thing. We're going to pinch right down the middle, about 1 inch, okay? Then we're going to gather it up 2 folds more on each side. All right. And we're going to put it right into the zip tie that we've preloaded on roll number 2. Same process, about 1 inch or the width of your finger. All right, now when we take off the clip and make a bowl or a cup out of it, all right, And you can see that it's going to stay away from the leaves, the green ones, because it's curled upright. All right, so let's do this one again, because we did add a little thing slightly different. Factory edge on the upper left, lower right. Bring the two together. All right, clip it, and then press it down. We're going to flip it over this time again. Turn it sideways. Grab about 1 inch in the middle and just walk 2 more folds to the center on each side. Okay, then I just put the little flaps up, little wings, as I put it into the next zip tie. About 1 inch, the same process. Pull your zip ties tight, take off your clip, and make a cup out of it. Opening up a little bit towards the gathering, and it'll cup up beautifully for you. All right, I'm going to show it to you one more time, and then I'll make mine off camera just to speed things up and give you a chance to make yours off camera as well. All right, now factory edge on the right, upper left, lower right. Bring the two tips together. All right, clip it. Now, turn it over, push it down. All right, again in the middle, using the point as the part of the middle. Grab about 1 inch and pull it in. And then you're going to pull 2 more folds on each side, just gliding it along the table. Pull your wings in and put it into the next zip tie that's already loaded and just waiting for that petal. And there you have it. Take off your clip, open up the cup. All right, so I'm going to finish the remaining 5 off camera. Give you a chance to do that as well, and we'll come back when we get that next row done. I'm back, and as you can see, now we have our second row of flowers in using the Dean Michael petal. Now all we need to do, go around and clip, again, all of the stems from the zip ties. Now I should point out that if you have trouble with your hands, or if your hands are weak, you can use a needle nose plier to pull these zip ties as tight as you can and then clip them off. All right, so now that we're done with the second row, we're going to do the third row and the fourth row with a different petal. I'm not quite sure what this petal is called, but I will tell you that this whole design was made by a woman named Stacy Chadwick. Her webpage is Your Front Porch. She is an incredible designer. She designs all different types of flowers. And I highly recommend that if you are interested, if you enjoy making this poinsettia, to check out her Facebook page. Again, it's Your Front Porch. She's a wonderful, wonderful designer. Very, very creative. Okay, so our next row, our next row is going to be made with a different type of petal. Still using the red poly burlap, okay? Again, we're also starting with the curled side up. You can see that the kind of naturally curls that way. All right. We're going to, this time, again, we're going to start with the factory edge on the upper left and lower right. This time we're going to bring the top point down to the bottom point, all right? And press this down. All right, now, you wanted something different. Here it comes. Kind of make a, using your fingers, your thumb and your Mr. Tallman, as I learned in kindergarten anyway. We all know it as a different finger now, but kind of make, you can see that this kind of forms a line if you know, from Mr. Tallman, to your thumb. Now you're going to take this edge, the right edge, and fold it down and bring it down to the thumb area. Just press down. Okay? Now we're going to turn this whole piece over, and you can see that this is the line from our piece from before. We're going to take this side and just line it up with it. Okay? Now turn it sideways, and just about 2 inches, you can see on my mat from the tip, 2 inches, 1, 2. We're just going to pinch it together, all right, and put it into our zip tie. Pull it as tight as you can. All right. Now I'm going to get my needle nose pliers just to show you an easier way in case your hands are, if you're having difficulty pulling that zip tie. Sometimes the zip ties can give you difficulty, so I just take and use it that way. All right, so let's make another one of those petals. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know what this name is, the name of the petal. It could be the tulip petal. If you look online on YouTube, that might be the tulip petal. Okay, so factory edge on the upper left, lower right, bring the top point down to the bottom. All right, with your hands, okay, just push it down. With your hands, kind of get a center line, thumb and finger. Now you're going to fold the right edge down to that thumb area, press down. Now you're going to turn the whole petal over, and with this side we're going to bring it down the same line from the petal on before, 2 inches up, grab it together. All right, and you can see that the petal is got a fold here and a fold here. Now, this is the tricky part. You always want to make sure that the fold opening up on the top is going the same direction as the petal you just put in there. So let's put it through and pretty much down to where it's gathered. Okay, pull it tight. And again, if you're having trouble with your hands, just use a needle nose plier. And we're going to go in a direction where this petal slightly overlaps this one. And the factory edge, and the reason we're doing it this way is then this factory edge is what's showing, all right, and not the cut edge. This is a very good petal to make because it hides all the cut edges are hidden, which reduces the chance for the fray. Okay, so let's make this petal again. Upper left, lower right are the finished edges. Bring it down. All right, fold it. It's kind of like origami, just with plastic instead of paper. All right, we're going to take and make a center, visualize a center using our fingers, and then we're going to fold down the right edge, press it down, fold it, turn it over, bring this edge down the same line as that on the other side. Okay, you have a nice point at the top right here. All right, now we're going to gather it about 2 inches. All right, and that's where we want the zip tie. We want to take and put this tail all the way in to where we've gathered it. Again, making sure that the fold is proper. We're overlapping the petal we put in, and we're going to tighten that zip tie. Okay, I'm going to use this to show you again. Just use your needle nose, pull it tight, and there you have it. So now we're going to need 5 more of those petals. I'll make one more since it's new. I'll make one more for you on camera. And then I'll turn off the camera, make my other 4, and come back and join you. Right now, factory edge is upper left, lower right. Are you guys sick of hearing me say that? Bring the points together. Press it down. Okay, make an invisible center line with your finger and fold that right edge of that petal along that line. You can see it goes right down to the point. All right, now we're going to turn this over. And we want to make the same point. Bring that other one over. You can see it didn't line up as well as I should have. Bring that next petal over. Press it down. Okay, sideways you can see 2 inches. Gather it up. And then we're going to put that in our next zip tie. Now you see the value of preloading your board, don't you? Makes it so easy to simply fold your petal and then put it right in that zip tie that's just waiting for you. All right, so we have 4 in. I'm going to turn off the camera, make the other 4 for you. I'm hoping you're doing the same, and we'll come right back. Okay, I'm back. I hope you all had a chance to finish your next row. Now I did want to point out this is my last petal, and we've been going along this way. This one should overlap this one. I'm going to just gently move this one to overlap that one. Okay, so we're all consistent. Now let's cut off our tails like we do. Now the next 4 in row 4, we're going to use the same petal fold, okay? It is the tulip fold. All right. Just getting my zip ties so that they're pointing upward, all right? Now you can see that these tails are kind of clogging up the area, but don't worry about it. Everything will still work out just fine. Okay, so we have 4 more petals using that tulip fold. All right. We're going to bring down the tip to the bottom, press this down. Now I should say, if you do get a loose piece of the fiber, just cut it off. It's going to happen. All meshes fray, okay? What we're trying to do is just make a fold that will minimize the opportunities for fraying, okay? So let's pinch it together. All right, we're going to just put it into these 4 that we have already loaded. There we go. Bring the tip down to the bottom. See, I'm getting a little bit of a fray here. Can you see this? All right. It happens. We just don't worry about it. And the best thing to do really is just clip it. Don't pull it. Just clip it. And this fold will cover it up. You know, the fray. This is a good fold. Like I said, it does cover it up. Okay, we're going to elongate that center again. Make an invisible center line with our fingers. Bring that fold over. Turn the whole thing over. And bring this side down that same middle line. And then fold the point down. Gather it about 2 inches and then put it in. Okay, we have 2 more for the center. Then we're going to move on to a new fold for the remaining 4. And we haven't loaded those zip ties yet. I'll show you how to load those zip ties. All right, invisible line with our fingers. Let's fold it. The right side of the petal, then turn the whole petal over. All right, you can't really see it on camera, but there is a clear line from the first fold that we follow with the second fold. Just gather it in 2 inches and put it in your zip tie. Okay, the last one of this fold, right, again, bring it down, fold it, create an imaginary center line with your fingers and just fold that right side of that petal down. Turn it whole thing over and match it up. And there you have it, 2-inch tail that we put in. Now these petals are not going to overlap completely like the layer before because they're in the holes that are spread further apart. And that's designed for a reason, because now we're going to come in with a very unique petal fold. I'm going to just tighten these up real quick. Okay. Then we're going to cut off these zip ties. All right. You may want to cut off some of the tails that are in the center here, just to make it easier. Just take your scissors and cut off a chunk of the tail. You don't have to do this. Just going to make it slightly easier for you to see the holes. Now, I'm going to lift this up and I'm hopefully going to be able to show you the holes. You see the holes that are there? We're going to load more zip ties using those same holes. Even though they're used already, we're going to reuse them basically, okay? So again, we're going to take a zip tie, the smooth edge up, pointing to the ceiling, okay? We're going to go down that one hole that you see, and we're going to come up. So we're actually spanning two, the hole from this petal as well as the hole from this petal, okay? We're going to just turn it. I'm going to load 4 of these petals or zip ties to make 4 more petals, okay? So again, it's going to go down the hole you see and then back up from the adjoining petal, the hole from the adjoining petal. And it may be easier just to see on the back side of the board. Oops. Okay. See the 2 petals? This is where our original petals are. And now we're just loading to join the 2 petals, the 2 holes together, all right? Going to give it a little zip, just again like before. Okay, and we have just 2 more. This is Lori Franklin from Unique in the Creek, who designed these boards. She calls these holes the paired holes and the shared holes. All right, and we are using the paired holes because we've already used the shared holes. But anyway, this is the process where you can just load petals on top of petals to create all the different designs. It's a very unique system, and it makes it very, very easy to make these flowers. Okay, there's our last one. Okay, now this petal is called the Star Trek petal. Star Trek petal, not track, all right? Let's clear the board. We're going to use the red again. All right, factory edge on the upper left and lower right, just like before. We're going to fold it down, just like before. Okay, make it flat. Now, totally up to you which side you want to go. You're going to fold one side over to the other. Completely in the middle. All right, now press it down. All right, so now we have, this is how it got its name, kind of like the Star Trek logo. All right, now you're going to hold the point with your finger, and you're just going to pull the two ends together. All right, now still holding the point, or let go of the point, I'm sorry. Gather a 2-inch tail, and there's our petal. Now we're going to load it into the board sitting upright. So it's going to give this flower a great deal of dimension. All right, I'm going to stick it into our board, and at this point I am going to recommend that you just cut off a little bit of the tail. Okay, just a little. We're still going to load it where my hand is holding it. All right, it's going to sit between those two, and we're going to zip tie and pull it tight. Okay, and once it's in properly, it sits upright. See if I can show you it. See how it kind of sits? Let's do it this way. See how it sits upright? These are laying a little bit flatter, and this one comes forward. All right? All right, now I'm going to cut that zip tie so it's out of my way and I don't have to worry about it. Okay, we're going to do that 3 more times. 3 more times. And I think we can actually trim the tail after it's in. So let's not worry about trimming it before we put it in. All right, so I'm going to bring factory edges left and right. Bring it down to the tip to tip. Press that down. Okay, now to keep your petal consistent, you want to fold from the same side. Okay, I'm going to fold. I've folded it before, right to left. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to match up the edges and press it down. I got my Star Trek shape. Okay, and just pull those ends together. All right, take about a 2-inch tail. Gather it up, and there you go. Now, you'll see one edge is single, the other edge has the folded side. You want to be consistent in how you put that in. In my case, my folded side on this petal is facing the top, so when I put this petal in, my folded side will also face the top. And you will always achieve this consistency if you fold, if you stick to the same pattern of folding. Like in this case, I bring my right edge to my left edge. And if you do left to right, that's no problem. Just do that consistently on every petal. Okay, we have 2 more of those petals. Okay, we're going to bring the top down to the bottom in a triangle. Okay, and press it down. And we're going to fold, in my case, I'm folding right over left. You do whichever you want. Keep it consistent. Now, when you get this triangle shape, you're going to hold the point with one hand. You're going to use your other hand to pull the 2 ends together to give it this little petal shape. Okay, you can see it. All right, now we're going to grab a 2-inch tail and put it in. Now, I'm putting it in so that it sits upright. Okay, like this is the bottom of the wreath, and I'm putting it in so it sits up. Okay. Now, fit it in. Let it sit between those 2 petals that you put in before. And pull tight. You just sometimes have to maneuver it so that it sits upright. in between the petals that the tulip petals that we did on the row, same row. Okay, now it's our last one. We're going to do factory edge on the left and lower right. Bring the tip down, form a triangle, fold it. Okay, bring left, right over left, fold it. Now, with your finger on the tip of the flower petal, just bring your hands together. Make this little, reminds me of like a shoe, a slide where you slide your feet into it. Okay, then pinch a 2-inch tail and put it in the last zip tie with the petal tip pointing up, and nestle it between the 2 tulip petals that we put in before. There we go. Now, our flower is complete. We just need to put the center in. And before I put the center in, I'm just going to go and make sure that my flower petals are upright. The Star Trek petals are upright. All right, and I'm going to trim some of the tails that are in the center. And I'll tell you what, because those balls that we made, that we frosted with the snow, they need to get in here. There's 2 holes in the very center of the board that we're going to feed those balls through. And you can see it's going to be a little bit difficult to find unless we open this up. And there they are, okay? So let me turn the board over. And you can see these 2 holes here are our center. We're going to feed the frosted balls through the center and then tie them off. And that's why you just need to be able to find those holes in the center. And you may just have to trim back the tails. There they are. Trim back the tails a little bit just so you can see them. All right. Now it's time to work on the center. Now you can see here I have all 6 of the balls that I've prepared earlier. I'm going to cut off the green wire on each of them, just leaving the little loop that we're going to string some of chenille stems or pipe cleaners, whatever you call them. And I'm just cutting off the green wire. All right. Now, we're going to put 2 balls on 1 pipe cleaner. We're going to do that twice. The pipe cleaners will come in your kit. Okay. I'm going to put 2 balls on 1, actually on 2 pipe cleaners. Here's 1 set. Here's the other set. Okay. We'll lose some of the snow, but that's okay. We've got a lot of snow on there. And then we're going to put the remaining 2 balls singly on their own pipe cleaner. Okay? Get this all set up. Let me move these tools out of the way so you have a clear... Okay. So now we're going to take the pipe cleaner that has 2 of them, and we're going to feed them through some of the shared holes with our flower petals, okay? So we're just going to, and we're going to just put the 2 of them through and just pull from below just to kind of get them in a position, okay? Now, let's take our other pipe cleaner that has 2 balls on them. We're going to put them across the way again, pull the pipe cleaners down. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create kind of a circle with the pipe cleaner, with the balls, and then we're going to put the last single ball on the top. So this is our single one. Going to find 2 holes again that the petals have gone through. I'll turn the board over and show you. If I can get that last. Sometimes pipe cleaners have this little point on it that catches everything. And this drives you crazy. All right. I'm missing one edge. There it is. Okay. So you can see, let's turn the board over. You can see that I've just put them through some of the holes, okay? You get this bunch of pipe cleaners back here. And now just kind of wiggle everything around so that it kind of creates this circle, okay? See how it fit in there nicely? Now the last, I'm still kind of holding the pipe cleaners in the back. The last ball is going to sit on top of these, and it's going to go through the 2 holes in the center. If I can find them, it's not imperative that it is, but it would be a nice outcome if I could find the 2 holes. Okay, they're there and there. Now, remember we've kind of separated these out. We're going to just push them through the holes that we see. Just give me a second, I'm sorry. We'll all kind of have to fidget around with these holes. There they are. Okay, so I'm going to get one started there. Kind of pull it through, and then pull the other one through this other hole right there. Now, I'm going to tell you, here's another secret that I'm going to bring in for you. If you are having trouble getting the pipe cleaners through, they have these plastic needles that can kind of help, right? It's just a plastic needle with a large eye over here. And we're going to just string the pipe cleaner through it and then feed it through the hole. This makes it really a lot easier, especially when you're working in such tight quarters. Okay, let's pull that through. Now from underneath, I should have all my pipe cleaners. All right. Do you see how that 6th ball just kind of sits right on top of the circle that was made with the other ones? Okay. Now you're going to just take all the pipe cleaners in the back like a bouquet of flowers and twist the board. They all twist together. All right. Just twist them all together. All right. And what you end up doing now is just taking and pushing these pipe cleaners back up through a hole. Doesn't matter which hole it is. It's not going to come through your flower at all, but it does tend to protect your door from being scratched if we can get these ends safely tucked into these holes. And just push it flat down. Okay. Sometimes you just have to bend it back to a closer hole, maybe. See how that one was closer? Let's put this one to this hole. And this one can go into this hole. There we go. then you have it. And your flower is complete. Okay, you still have a little give with these if you need to move them over a little bit. But that's your flower. Now the last thing I need to show you is how to put a hanger on this so you can hang it from your door. On the back, if you go around the first row, you'll come across a set of 4 holes in a row. Do you see those? They're very close together. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take, you can take a pipe cleaner, you can take a zip tie, whatever you want, and you're going to come up from the bottom of the flower, up through there, and I'll show you why. And then you're going to feed it back down through, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing this totally off camera. Let's try this again. Okay, see, I'm going to put my hanger in the middle 2 holes. And I'm going to start by coming up through basically the front of the board, okay? And then feed it back down so that the attaching, that little nub is basically inside the petals. Okay, do you see that? Okay, now we're just going to close that off. And here you just want just a little, very little zip. There you go. Cut off this tail and then pull it back this way. But that way the nub, the part that could scratch the door, oops, is tucked into the flower. Okay? And this part here will hang on the door. All right? So there you have it. That's the poinsettia kit. Everything will come in it except for your cutters and this needle. Unfortunately, I don't have enough needles to go around for all the kits that I make. But everything else will come into it. You can always refer back to this video to learn how to do it. Thank you again for spending your afternoon or evening with me, and I hope you enjoy making this poinsettia.